What's up, everybody? Pal 702 back today with another single coil RDA review. All right, so we are making our way down the path of single coil RDA reviews. I have a million of them. There's a million of them being made. In the last week, we've done the D Pro Mini, which was awesome. The C4 by Osmotis. Both of them budget, both of them great. Now it's time to hit up the high end. Break out the wallet. The FLAVE 22 Titanium Edition. It's a bad mammer jammer right here. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go downtown. I'm gonna show you all about the FLAVE 22 Titanium. Throw a build in it, pop back up, pros, cons. You know how we do it. Parlez-vous français? Oh oui oui. Merci beaucoup. Oh oui oui. That's all I got. It's made in France. So this is the FLAVE 22 made by Alliance Tech out of France. And there won't be really anything on the box at all. Nothing, 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 nothing. Just this, which typically high-end usually just comes in like that little plastic sleeve. So the fact that you get a box, we'll give that a pro. Now opening the box, boom, that is your money shot right there. You have one titanium 22mm single coil FLAVE 22. You also have a Delrin. This is a proprietary drip tip. And then you also have a titanium and then your regular 510. So let's get this all out of the box. Extras, extras. Read all about it. What do we got here? We have lots of O-rings, smaller O-rings. You have two, these are going to be flathead post screws. And that's that. You also get this beautiful shiny gold 510 pin in case you want to drip on it. You get this gorgeous proprietary titanium drip tip. Now with the regular FLAVE 22, it's a stainless steel, and I believe you get, well, I know you get an Ultim, and I think the other one might be Delrin, but this titanium one only comes in the titanium package. And they're very nice. These drip tips are very, very comfortable. As you can see, they're double O-ringed, so they fit absolutely perfect. These are very nice drip tips. The actual size on them, the inside of this guy, let's kind of put it this way. You're looking at a little over 8mm on the inside. And on the outside, about 12. These are proprietary. Here is the Delrin. This also has dual O-rings, although it's a little bit harder to pick up, but exact same size on both these guys. All right, much bigger than I would normally, you know, run on a 22mm. Very nice though. Parlez-vous français? This is the star of this show, the FLAVE 22 Titanium Limited Edition. So they only made 1,100 of these. They're out there. The stainless steel is out there too, but this is titanium. And what I really do love about this is there's absolutely no graphics, no logos, No engravings, nothing at all. This is just like as clean as it gets. You'll notice it's just got 2 tiny air ports. These are going to be about 4.5 millimeters long by about almost 2 millimeters. You're about 4 millimeters across and about 2 millimeters this way. Not a lot of air, but very sufficient for this 22 millimeter deck. Up top, once again, you have these proprietary drip tips, double O-ring. They fit just absolutely perfect. Very snug. That's the Delrin. And that is your titanium. I mean, that's pretty mean right there. And I guess because I've been rocking it on my SQ, I've been rocking it with the Delrin, but the straight titanium, that looks pretty badass. I might just have to keep that on there. Yeah. All right, so on the bottom, you will see it says the FLAVE 22 titanium 1100 limited. You have a very nice gold plated squonking pin right there. Got your little peak insulator around there. Now you'll notice this does have reduced chamber. It's got that step. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the armor, but when I first saw this, that's the first thing. I thought this was an armor. And before we go any further, just so you know, if you happen to own an armor, which this is an armor right here, you can take your armor drip tips and they fit on there. I mean, that's ugly as fuck right there, but I'm just letting you know that if you do own an armor, your armor drip tips, they'll work. Little FYI. So your airflow, very basic. You just adjust it by turning it. That's it, either way. What happens on one side happens on the other side. Okay, so let's have a look at this top cap. It does have that reduced step down chamber, and it is machined perfectly. All titanium. It's a thing of beauty. I just really like this and the armor, how it's reduced like that. I just think that it just makes the atomizer just look badass. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like that was the reason I bought this was the straight up the top cap. What does she have under the hood? Boom goes the dynamite. That, my friend, is a 22 millimeter stainless steel deck. Now you can see that they went with the flathead screws. Normally I hate flathead screws because you'll be, you know, putting a build in, and then how many times have you done this where you guys are tightening it up and it slips and then you hit the coil and then you fuck your coil up? But aesthetically, I've always thought that flathead screws looked much better than Phillips. I know that for, you know, functional, Phillips are way better. And if I wasn't going with that, I would go with grub screw. Grub screws all around are probably my choice, but on this, I do like how they went with flathead because, let's face it, you're not gonna be torquing the shit out of this. So don't use one of your little tiny blue ones, but if you get a normal screwdriver in there, these are fine. But I just think with everything, with the lines of the deck and everything, I like the flathead on here, flathead screws. So we will just go ahead and take one out. When you're building this, depending on what type of wire you're using, you can slide your coil. You can just raise it up like that. You don't have to take an entire screw out. But it's really up to you unless you're using, you know, a thicker wire, then you probably should take both of these out. But if you're doing like something like a small fused or just a Clapton or something like that, you don't have to take these out. There's enough room where you can slide this through. The only reason I'm taking these out is because this is a 22 that can handle larger builds. There's some of them where you'll hear me say 0.3, point whatever. This little 22, this doesn't look like it would handle a big build, but I'm telling you, I started off very small. I started off with like round wire or like a really small fused, and I just started building bigger and bigger and bigger and kept waiting for it to get hot, and it wasn't getting hot and it wasn't getting hot. And I know some of it goes to the fact that I have a titanium cap, and titanium does help dissipate heat much faster. But all in all, I'm sure that the stainless steel ones are the same. The way that this airflow is set up, it keeps your atomizer cool. It's not fancy, it's a straight shot. What is cool though is that each side of this airflow goes from the middle of your coil to the back. So I'm trying to explain this before I put the coil in. This airflow will only hit this end right here is the exact middle of the coil, and then the rest of this hits the back half. So this side of the coil is not getting any air on this side. So this covers the middle to the back on this side, and then this side covers from the middle to the back on that side. So when you look at it up top, right here and right here, that's the middle of your coil. So the only part of your coil that's getting blasted from both sides with air is the middle of your coil. And I think that's awesome. The way that they design this, you know, because, you know, a properly set up coil, it's going from the middle out. And that's where you want all your airflow focus, is on the middle. So the way that they chose to use their space for airflow on this was brilliant. You know, only the middle of the coil gets airflow from both sides, and the rest of it gets smaller as it gets towards the edge. See right here, this airflow is going to catch the middle and then the end, but nothing on this side at all, and vice versa. So the way that they set this up, it's just, I haven't seen any other ones set up like that. And by getting both sides directly on the middle, between that and the titanium cap, I don't know, but this thing does not, it takes a lot to get this 22mm hot. Yeah, so this airflow, I'm just trying to give you something that kind of demonstrates. It is at a pitch. It's not a real aggressive pitch, but it is at a pitch, so it does aim down. Now, this right here, once again, like, they nailed it. When I first got this, I was really trying to pull the coil up. I felt like it needed to be up higher. And at first I was like, man, this thing has no flavor. Like, what the hell? The FLAVE has no FLAVE. It was only for like an hour, like I panicked. I was like, what the hell? And I actually changed the build a couple times, like a moron, before I just did something very simple and started adjusting it here and here. There's so much flavor to be gained and to be lost by going up or down, up or down. I didn't realize that the airflow was at a pitch, so it was already going down, so I didn't need to raise it up as high as I did. I had it up too high. For a good just starting point, just place it in exactly where this is, and hopefully you're bang on, but you'll be close this way. I was trying to place mine up. The bottom part of my coil would be where this airflow hit, and what was really happening is the airflow was just, since it was pitched, it was totally missing my coil, and it tasted like dog shit. Actually, it didn't taste at all. There was no taste at all. Right here, this cutout for your coiling jig tool, it's in a very, very good location. Definitely a good place for you to start. We all vape differently, I know, but they did a good job. Lately, a lot of the single coils I've been getting, their placement has been pretty damn good. Now, since we're here, you can see there is the squonk pin. It does protrude slightly, so it will leave a little bit of juice in the bottom of the deck. It's a mill deck, it holds more liquid. You can see this nice peak insulator right here, and then right here. So obviously this would be your positive over here, negative over here. And then right there, that is your serial number. This is number 107. Now you have dual O-rings on this guy, and tolerances are what you would expect for, you know, $100+ atomizer. I mean, the tolerances, very, very perfect. Machining on the deck, 316 stainless steel. I love the peak on it. And the one thing you'll notice about this is it's very condensed. If you look in there, there's just enough room for a coil, and that's it. That's all you got, and that is what's gonna give you all that flavor. Between that and that reduced chamber right there, that is a recipe for flavor. Another recipe for flavor are these. These would be clean as fuck coils. Now, I only break out the clean as fuck coils on stuff that I'm going to be vaping a lot. So we will be using Mr. Freddy clean as fuck coils. And this is a clean as fuck alien. That's what we're working with. Little Nichrome 90. Look at that thing. Beautiful. And this can take an alien. Lots of them can't. This will take an alien and they'll like it. So, we got the FLAVE. We got the FLAVE. We got that flavor. So, hit it.
I know we had to do a remix, right?
Niggas is mad, I get more butt than ashtrays. Fuck a fair one, I get mine the fast way. Ski mask way, nigga ransom notes. Far from handsome, but damn a nigga tote. What you told? More guns than roses, foes is shaking in their boots. A visible bully, like the gooch disappear, vamoose, you whack to me. Take them rhymes back to the factory. I see the gimmicks, the whack lyrics, the shit is depressing, pathetic. Please forget it. You're mad cause my style you're admiring. Don't be mad, UPS is hiring. You should have been the cop, fuck hip hop. With that freestyle, you're bound to get shot. Not from Houston, but I rap a lot. Pack the gat a lot. The flame's about to drop.
Here comes a brand new flavor, yeah. Time for new flavor, yeah. I'm just kicking new flavor, yeah. Like a brand new flavor, yeah. Here comes a brand new flavor, yeah. Time for new flavor, yeah. Word up, no rap, no crap, you bore me. One to grab my dick, too lazy, hold it for me. I'm straight rap great, bust the head straight and dreads, I'm everlasting. Like it's so on pro catch, a tech 9, when I rhyme, plus I climb, word is mine. Your album couldn't fuck with one line. It's been 3 years since your last tear, but now I reappear, your heart pumps fear. To your gut, did your girl's butt. I scraped it, shaped it, now she won't strut. I smash teeth, fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith. You won't be around next year, my rap's too severe, can get mad flame, yeah. Here comes a brand new flavor, yeah. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear, like a brand new flavor in your ear. Here comes a brand new flavor in your ear. Time for new flavor in your ear.
2194, mad motherfucking hardcore. It's my time to burn, to explore. The flavor in your ear, it's the Boy Scout. I make outs, I make all the rappers have doubts. You're fucking with the wrong clan and the wrong man, that's it. Now you got to get your dome split. I'm going into my knapsack with my jet. Take off my hat, yes, I'm just cool like that. The dangerous, the ruggedness from the flappers abyss. BLS 97 kiss bastard is. I'm gonna live long in this rap game. Niggas know my name, yo, Puffy.
Battery safety! Battery safety. We always keep it safe up in here with the batteries. No joke. In the case. Got the vape cell. Everyone says VAP cell. But VAP cell sounds stupid, so I call it vape cell. And we just go over these. Feel them with my hands. Make sure there's no tears. Look up at the top. Make sure that white little insulator ring, make sure that's all in there all nice and good. No dents. Look at the bottom. I run a lot of hybrids, all that stuff. You want to make sure you don't have, little marks and stuff like that. You're fine. You just want to make sure you don't have any dents or anything like that. Always give your batteries a once over. Even if you're on a regulated, just on a squonk, on a mech squonk. So I'm gonna let you guys get back to your jam in a minute, but on a mech squonk, every time that I take out, I refill. Every time I refill, I always check my battery. And usually I'll go in there and clean my contacts too. But I don't have my stuff with me right now. But it's all about battery safety. All right, bump it up.
Delicious, give me couscous, love me good. Damn, Hollis to Hollywood, but is he good? I guess like the jeans, flavor like praline. Sick daddy, I mean, Papa love it when he does it. Niggas buzz it. But tell me, was it really just the flavor that be clogging your ears? The most healthy behavior is to stay in the clear. It's all for you, it's really all for you.
Now what?
Punch back, close your eyes, try to munch that. Oil up your ankles, let your Timbs tap. Fight the flavor, it reacts to your no caps. Word to mama, a tongue kiss up piranha, electrocuted barracuda. I'm here to bring the drama.
Yo, flavors in your ass grease. Watch the vibes about to bring the noise on these. Let me loose from the belly of the beast. Everybody, hey, you better believe it's Busta Rhymes the great. We bout to rip the tri-state, yo. Hey, I split your face and give you stitches. Throw niggas in ditches, slap the ass on fat bitches. Wait 1 second, as I get down, I'm rolling with the heavyweight connect through the stomping ground. Now, don't you get suspicious? Grant your wishes every time. Bring it vicious when I bust around. I know one thing the whole world least expected is how we all connected. To break fool on the same record. 5 new flavors on the beat. Feel the fucking heat. I really think you should be cheap while we blow up the streets. Instead of copping, please just freeze. Maintain the focus while we smoke these marijuana trees. When I get down, I disappear, reappear and blow up everywhere. Fucking with these flavors in your ear.
It's time for brand new flavor in your ear. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Like a brand new flavor in your ear. Here comes a brand new flavor in your ear. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Like a brand new flavor in your ear.
And that was some flavor in your ear and some flavor on your screen. Let's have a look. Let's get a nice dialed in shot there. That is the FLAVE 22mm titanium edition on top of the SQ badass squonking device. This whole setup right here, it's all high end, and this is an all day setup. You can take this setup anywhere, not worry about dropping it. This is high end, but it's all made to last. So, let's have a vape. I love Killer Custard Lemon. I love it. I love it. That's really good. It's delicious. It's top 5 easy. All right, pros and cons on this beautiful atomizer. We're gonna start with cons, end with pros, because we always end on a positive note around here. Con number 1. No 510 adapter. Now, the drip tips on here, I'll get to that, that's gonna be a pro. But I think that any 22mm single coil, it should always come with a 510 adapter. Just because you might have your favorite 510 drip tip or whatever, but I just feel like that there should have been a 510 adapter. My other con is going to be the way that the leads go in. I mean, it's not the hardest deck to build, but for a single coil, it's just more of a fumbly deck. Unless you have like a magnetized screwdriver, which I should probably get, you end up fumbling around a lot with the screws. On a 1 to 10 for a single coil, 1 being the easiest, like the Wasp, 10 being shit. This is like, it's like a 7 or an 8. That's if you're using big wire. This is, these are alien. To put your wire in for a single coil, it is a little, it's just fumbly is the only really word I can come up with it. So those are my only 2 cons. No 510, and the way that the coils go in, I think they could have done it a little bit better. Maybe cut a channel underneath the screws or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker by any means whatsoever. Pros. O's. I got O's. Pro number 1 is going to be flavor. The flavor on this is as good as any RDA that I own. You heard it. This is as good as the B2K. The flavor on this, when moving forward, when I say my favorite single coil RDA, this is in there. With the higher end stuff, it gets so close, it's hard to pick just one. There's usually a feature or something, but when it comes to the flavor is so close. For me, this is as good as anything that I own for flavor. So flavor is my first and my biggest pro on this. I've yet to vape anything that touches this, period. The B2K being one, and then there's another one that I haven't reviewed yet. But I mean, this is, for me, this is like as good as it gets. The flavor is phenomenal. So, pro number 2 is gonna be the looks. I love how they have the reduced chamber on this. I just think it looks badass. And the titanium edition in general, the way that there's no logos on it at all. Like nothing, no logos, no engraving, doesn't have any big stars or skulls or gas masks or anything like that. It's just a cap, and it's a titanium cap. And the drip, next one, drip tip. The drip tip on these, normally you guys know me, like if you've been watching this channel, I put 510s on everything. I'm lame. Like when I get a single coil 22, I put a 510 on it. I always give the 810 a chance, but the 510 always pulls through. With this, the way that this is built, this proprietary drip tip, the flavor is excellent. And it allows you to run. There's an alien in here, and this thing for me, this is like a 0.19 to 0.2 build. For me on a single, like that's as low as I'd pretty much build. Okay, another pro is the versatility of the FLAVE. You can run a 0.35 on here, you can run a 0.25 on here, you can run a 0.15 on here, and it produces great flavor. I mean, it just has a wide range. There's not one range where you dial it in. You can put round wire in here and it's gonna give you great flavor. You can put an alien in here. I mean, you could put a simple Clapton. This thing gives you flavor. Every build I've put in here, flavor. You could put it on if you're on a regulated device. You can vape it at 40 watts, 50 watts, 60 watts, 80 watts. The thing puts out flavor. There's really no dead spot as far as the flavor, unless you get super crazy with it. But all in all, so the versatility of the FLAVE 22 it's just a massive pro. There's not really a wrong way to build it. If you're into high ohms, low power, you can vape it that way. If you're into chucking clouds, especially with this titanium, like it doesn't get hot, and this larger proprietary drip tip, you have a wide array of builds that you can do on this, and it vapes excellent. Airflow, you know, it's a little bit noisy, but I mean, that really doesn't bother me too much. It's not turbulent at all. It's got a little bit of a whistle in it right now, but that's on my build. That's my build. I don't mind it because the flavor that I'm getting from it is phenomenal, so I'll take a little bit of a whistle. I mean, all I really need to do is move it down a little bit, and that goes away. Okay, so pro number 3, 4, 5, I don't even know what number we're on. Next pro on this is going to be the build quality. When you look at the deck, beautiful stainless steel, the way the peak insulator, the way that the whole deck, how condensed it is, everything's milled together. It's just a gorgeous deck. Like the build quality and the material used on here, it's not one of those high-end atomizers that you get and you're like, well, where did my money go? I mean, the material and the craftsmanship and everything, it's a 10 out of 10. To me, it doesn't get any better. I love the way that they did the airflow, where the only part that gets dual airflow is the center of the coil. I like how they utilized the airspace like that. I think that's also why it's so versatile. It's virtually impossible to leak on. I mean, I'm sitting here squonking the shit out of it. You really, really have to try to leak on this thing. So another huge pro. And it's another pro too, is it's one of those high ends that you use, or for me anyways, like I rock this every single day. There's this one and another high end that we haven't covered yet that I have one or the other every single day, if not both of them. It's not one of those ones that you get and you kind of put on your stand and you have it just to have it. Those of you that collect high end, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you have those ones that you have them, I guess, just to have them. This is all around just a badass RDA. So that brings us to price. The titanium ones, you're pushing like 130 to 150 depending on where you're looking. I got this off of like a Facebook group, Addy, high-end Addy Trader or whatever. I paid about 140 for it. You'll see it out there for 120 to 150 depending on where, you know, and they're still out there, they're on sites. But you can also just get the stainless steel one. I think that one's closer to $100, and the only difference is the cap's stainless steel. It's not titanium, so maybe the cap might get a little warmer, but all in all, I mean, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. So for me, paying anywhere from 100 to 140 bucks for this thing, in the world of high end, you're getting an excellent atomizer. I don't think that there's anything out there that beats this. It's all my opinion. This is all subjective, but to me, the FLAVE 22, I don't own anything that's better than this. For flavor, for everything, all around, this thing fucking kicks ass. So this is the epitome of high end. If you want to buy a high end device, if you want to buy a high end atomizer and feel good about it, buy the FLAVE. The FLAVE 22, doesn't matter if it's stainless steel or titanium. I guess titanium if you're not into anything etched on there. The stainless steel does have, I think, some engraving. I think it just says like FLAVE, and maybe it says, I think it says Alliance Tech on it. I think it's got that symbol and everything engraved on it. But nothing crazy, and it comes with like an ultimate tip. So, that being said, this is one of my favorite RDAs, if not my favorite RDA single coil ever. There's a couple more coming up, but this one right here, this was the one that dethroned the B2K. It dethroned it. It's not better than it, but it's the same. If I'm looking at both of them, it's like flipping a coin. But if I really had to pick one, I would pick this one over the B2K. So I'm officially retiring my B2K as my #1. yeah, it was a long run, you know, but the B2K still kicks ass. I still have 3 of them. They're still in my rotation. It's bittersweet, but the fucking FLAVE, I'm telling you guys, this thing is badass. So shout out to France. I mean, what has France given us? They gave us the Statue of Liberty. They gave us democracy, that's pretty good. French fries, the Menage a Trois, and the FLAVE. Man, all right, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. As you can tell, it's late and I need to shut my mouth. So, all right, so we didn't have our Monday, our typical Monday upload, so I had to make up for it. And so, the FLAVE 22 Titanium. This thing is a beast. Buy it. If you can, buy it. You will not regret it. This is one of maybe 2 or 3 high ends that I will just say yes. Yes, 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 yes. And on that note, don't know what's going on out there. I know it's late. And in Las Vegas, it's hot and it's late. And that's when we get a little crazy. So I'm about to sign off. Don't know what's going on out there. But around here, it's always all love. Catch you on the next one. Parlez-vous français? Oh oui, oui.